Red Bull is a $30 billion company. It sells 12 billion cans a year. But here's what most people don't realize. Red Bull's product is nothing special. It's basically carbonated water, sugar, caffeine, and taurine. The formula hasn't changed since 1987. Any beverage company on Earth could make the same drink for pennies. Coca-Cola tried and failed. Monster tried and had to get bought by Coke. Because Red Bull doesn't sell energy drinks. It sells an identity. And the way they did it is the greatest marketing story in business history. In 1982, an Austrian toothpaste salesman named Dietrich was traveling through Thailand when he discovered a local energy drink called Krating Daeng, which translates to Red Bull. The syrupy, sweet drink was popular among Thai truck drivers and manual laborers. It was nothing fancy, just a cheap caffeine boost. Mateschitz tried it, felt instantly less jet-lagged, and had an idea. Take this drink, reformulate it for Western tastes, add carbonation, reduce the sweetness, and sell it to a completely different market. Not truck drivers, not laborers, young, adventurous, aspirational people. He partnered with Chaleo Uvidhia, the Thai creator of Krating Daeng, and in 1987, Red Bull launched in Austria. It took 3 more years before it was profitable. The first wave of consumers didn't know what an energy drink was. The category literally didn't exist in Europe. Mateschitz didn't just have to sell a product. He had to create an entire market. Here's the first unconventional decision Mateschitz made. He refused to lower the price. Red Bull launched at roughly twice the price of a regular soft drink. When retailers pushed back, Mateschitz held firm. When consumers questioned the value, he said the premium price was the point. A cheaper price would signal that Red Bull was just another soda. The high price told consumers this was something different, something that works. This was radical in the late 80s. Conventional wisdom said new products should compete on price to gain market share. Mateschitz did the opposite. He used price as a signal of quality and exclusivity. It worked. People assumed a $3 drink must do something a $1 drink couldn't. Now the marketing. This is where Red Bull becomes a business school case study. Mateschitz didn't buy TV ads. He didn't do print campaigns. Instead, he did something no beverage company had ever tried. He went directly to his target consumers and created cultural moments. In the early days, Red Bull hired student brand managers, college students who threw parties, gave away free cans at dorms and bars, and drove branded Mini Coopers with a giant Red Bull can strapped to the roof. They focused on nightclubs, college campuses, and extreme sports events. The strategy was called seeding, getting the product into the hands of the coolest, most visible people in every social scene. Red Bull didn't want everyone to drink it. They wanted the right people to drink it, and everyone else to want to be like those people. It was aspirational marketing before Instagram existed. Then Mateschitz made the move that would define Red Bull forever. He bought the culture. Instead of sponsoring extreme sports, Red Bull became extreme sports. In 2004, Red Bull launched its own Formula One racing team. Not a sponsorship, an actual team. They now have 2 F1 teams and have won multiple championships. They created the Red Bull Air Race. They own professional soccer teams in New York, Leipzig, Salzburg, and Sao Paulo. They own an ice hockey team. They run the Red Bull Rampage, the most dangerous mountain bike competition on Earth. They host Red Bull Flug Tag, where people launch homemade flying machines off a pier. And then, in 2012, Red Bull did something that cemented its place in marketing history: the Stratos jump. Austrian skydiver Felix Baumgartner, sponsored entirely by Red Bull, jumped from a helium balloon at the edge of space, 128,000 feet above the Earth, and broke the sound barrier in freefall. 8 million people watched live on YouTube, making it the most watched live stream in history at that time. The media coverage was worth an estimated $500 million in equivalent advertising. Red Bull's cost? About $50 million. Red Bull didn't just sponsor the jump. They produce the entire event. And this is the key insight. Red Bull is a media company that happens to sell energy drinks. They operate Red Bull Media House, which produces documentaries, magazines, TV shows, and digital content. They have their own TV channel. They produce content across every extreme sport, music, and culture vertical. The content markets the brand. The brand sells the drink. Now, let's look at the financial side. Red Bull is privately held, so detailed financials are limited. But here's what we know. In 2023, Red Bull sold approximately 12.1 billion cans and generated an estimated 10.5 billion euros in revenue. The company spends roughly 25 to 30% of its revenue on marketing, about 2.5 to 3 billion euros per year. That's extraordinarily high. Coca-Cola spends about 8 to 10% of revenue on marketing. Most CPG companies spend 10 to 15%. But here's the difference. Most of Red Bull's marketing spend generates revenue on its own. The F1 teams generate prize money and sponsorship income. Red Bull Media House licenses content. Events sell tickets. The marketing budget isn't pure expense. It's a business unit that feeds the brand while partially funding itself. The profit margins on the actual drink are absurd. Red Bull's liquid costs an estimated 5 to 10 cents per can to produce. The aluminum can cost more than the drink inside it. With a retail price of $2.50 to $3.50, the gross margins are somewhere north of 90%. Even with the massive marketing spend, Red Bull's operating margins are estimated at 15 to 20%. Healthy for any consumer goods company and remarkable for one spending a third of revenue on marketing. One more thing that's easy to overlook. Red Bull has never meaningfully expanded its product line. They have Red Bull Original, Red Bull Sugar-Free, and a few flavor additions. That's essentially it. While competitors like Monster offer 40-plus varieties in different sizes, Red Bull keeps it simple. One product, one size mostly, one identity. The constraint is the strategy. It keeps the brand focused and premium. Dietrich Mateschitz passed away in October 2022 at age 78. He left behind a company worth an estimated $30 billion, ownership of multiple sports teams, a media empire, and a brand that's synonymous with adrenaline worldwide. He never took the company public. He never diversified into dozens of product categories. He just sold sugar water with better marketing than anyone in history. What do we learn from Red Bull's improbable dominance? Lesson 1. Sell the identity, not the product. Red Bull's liquid is worth pennies. The brand is worth $30 billion. In any commoditized market, the product is interchangeable. The brand is the moat. Ask yourself, if someone copied your product exactly, what would you have left? If the answer is nothing, your brand isn't strong enough. Lesson 2. Create culture, don't rent it. Most companies sponsor events. Red Bull creates them. Most companies buy ad time. Red Bull produces content that people actually want to watch. The difference between renting someone else's audience and building your own is the difference between a marketing expense and a marketing asset. Lesson 3. Premium pricing is a feature, not a limitation. Red Bull proved that charging more can actually help you sell more, if the price reinforces the brand story. Dropping the price to compete with Monster would have destroyed the perception of premium effectiveness that makes Red Bull, Red Bull. The next time you crack open a Red Bull, remember, you're not paying for caffeine and sugar. You're paying for Felix Baumgartner's jump from space, an F1 championship, and the most sophisticated marketing machine ever built. And honestly, it's worth it. Subscribe for more stories about how the world's biggest brands really work.